Hey guys, just wanted to do my reaction video. Sorry, I wish I could do a reaction video, but I don't know. I keep getting blocked, at least for doing particular episodes of The Gifted. So I'm just gonna do a review of season one, episode 6. I got your 6. So because the whole conflict with Dreamer putting the fake memory into Blink's head of being with Thunderbird. Now she takes it out on Thunderbird because of the fact that she that he didn't say anything immediately after doing it, and get and holds him like somewhat responsible and complicit in it, which he accepts. But it gets to the point where she's so pissed off that she leaves the underground, which creates an interesting dynamic because they don't have it's a great way to create conflict and not creating like an easy problem solving situation in which now basically Reed and his son have to like hitch a ride along with Eclipse on the back of a 18-wheeler all the way to Baton Rouge to get the files on what was why he I get Pulse got brainwashed a couple episodes before by the Sentinel services, and now they're getting wind because they also got wind of other mutants being brainwashed into helping Sentinel services hunt down other mutants. And now it creates a dynamic in which Reed's trying to bond with Andy on the truck and ask about what happened at the school, like why he didn't talk about being bullied at school, and then they get pulled over by the cops who wants to check the back of the truck because of the search warrant for all the mutants, and so Eclipse is touching out the lights in the back of the truck and uses powers to absorb whatever lights in the tractor trailer is still on in order to, I guess, create some kind of shadow in which even though the cop's like shining his flashlight in the back of the truck, it's like it won't shine on him, and I guess he can't see it. Not sure how that works, but I'll go with it. So they're able to get to Baton Rouge. Andy is able to takes them there, like breaks through a wall in an adjacent parking structure as they get to the courthouse, which has all the mutant files about the brainwashing program. And he wants to come along because of the fact that he feels useless, and his dad's telling him about being careful with his powers, and he just feels like he needs to prove. I guess he feels like he needs to prove himself to his dad, but Reed just tells him to stay behind and go back to the truck when they get the files on the hard drive on the whole project. And back at the mutant underground, there's also conflict between there's also besides the conflict between I think it's I think Lauren but they're in the mother. I think it's no, it's like Lauren's the daughter, I think. She's who's like has like a mutant who's able to create illusions and mirages, flirting with her. Lauren's mom's Kate is like having a conflict with Polaris because she's training basically the kids to be soldiers, and she says like, okay, we need to provide some kind of normalcy for these kids, and including her kids, and just like they're mutants now, they're going to be fighting for the rest of their lives, like this is their new normal, they're fugitives, and it just feels like it's really getting kind of annoying because of the fact that seems to be like her only arc. Like she's been like part of this underground for I don't know, for a few weeks by their time, and I feel like they keep just repeating this arc of just where it's like she's reluctant to let the kids go onto the field, and then she or accept the reality that they're fugitives, and I guess she's trying to be like this overprotective mother, but it's like at some point it just feels like it gets a little bit repetitive to the point where it's like, at what point do you accept that reality, which I guess is I don't know. there's something about it that just feels like repetitive, like repetitive to me about it's like her not wanting to be trained as soldiers. Like I feel like I've just seen this before in like past episodes, and I guess like it's slightly different from say like Reed's arc where he's trying to be supportive and understanding and trying to like fathom this new life, and you saw that he has a little bit of conflict considering he saw himself in a picture at the Baton Rouge courthouse with like other, I guess, attorneys, and then he was saying, and that he was talking about trying to stop Eclipse from like setting the whole office on fire, presumably, just for the sake of trying not to leave a trail. But the thing is, but he does like express that in spite of everything that Andy, that he is proud of him and always will be proud of him, and doesn't end it with a nice touching moment where they play Monopoly. But on the way back there, before that happens, we do have there is like a situation where they are being tailed by the police, and they're about to go into a police ambush in which Kate reluctantly agrees to let Lauren go out into the field with Wes and Polaris in order to rescue them, in which we have Polaris using her powers to like stop the bullets from shooting at the truck. Lauren using her force field to have the truck create where the truck can drive over the force field, over like the spikes to take out the tires, and over the police barricade. And then Wes using his powers to create an illusion in which the truck drives straight through a four-way stop, but he creates an illusion that makes it look like it splits off into two, and so you have both. And you have like the police cars like splitting up to go in like left and right, just being is like, oh, we'll catch the right truck going in those two directions. But he creates the illusion is that, well, that's the illusion he creates, but the truck is still driving straight, and of course they all get back to mutant headquarters in time, and Dreamer convinces Thunderbird to sort of like, I guess, like rekindle their relationship, just because of the fact that it's like, okay, they're in a war, so they're all they have. And he does mention the fact that apparently the Mutant Underground was set up by the X-Men, and they appointed Thunderbird's leader, but we don't get, and we just says the X-Men are gone, but we just we don't know the extent of it, like how, like, was he a former X-Man? What was, how heavily involved are the X-Men in setting it up? Like, why are they going? Why are they going? How come we're focusing on this Mutant Underground, and how the X-Men are not playing a bigger role in this? I mean, again, it's like a whole like movie embargo thing, but it's just sort of like I'm hoping to get like an in-universe explanation for it, and based on the previews for next week, we might do that. And I heard next week, episode 7 is supposed to be like we get more of Blink's backstory, so maybe those two things will like tie together. And I'm looking forward to it. And again, this still continues. As I have very few things to say about it. I mean, my gripe is, trying to see more of an arc for Kate. And I guess the other thing that's worth mentioning is that Jace Turner, who's pissed about his memories being manipulated about his daughter's death, calls the doctor who was, I guess he was talking to Kate when they were stealing medicine and looking at files on the Strucker kids from the incident, and now he cuts a deal with them in which he gets reinstated at Sentinel Services, even though they told him to stand down after, being kidnapped by it, and just trying to, recover and reconcile in exchange for actually providing intel on the Strucker kids to that doctor. But he clearly looks a little bit conflicted about it, considering, he's a father, he was a father, and he's conflicted about, in spite of them being mutants, tearing, there's a part of, you can tell like a part of him who's like feels bad about possibly tearing these kids away from their parents the way he lost his kids, in a sense. So it'll be interesting to see like how the series is going to wrap up and how things are going to come to a head. But what do you guys think of the episode? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.